Well, I made it to the trail. I'm about fourth or a third of the way up the first and worst climb of the day. The trail looks like this. Sounds like Slurp. And it's Vermont's living up to its name of Vermud. But then again, in all fairness, Massachusetts look like this too. It's not supposed to rain anymore today or tomorrow. But I don't think this ever dries out based on the canopy and the mild temperatures. I think it's just a matter of how soupy it's going to be. And some people with thicker skin than me just walk through this stuff. Personally, I don't like my feet getting so wet that at the end of the day, darn near every callus you had is white and rubbed off because your feet have been wet for hours. But that's just my personal preference. So I try to keep them dry as much as I can. And admittedly, it's a lost cause, even with so-called waterproof socks. If the outside water doesn't get you, the perspiration does sooner or later. And you end up with wet feet either way. I think there may actually be a view at the top of this mountain, but we'll see. Disappointment is the name of the game so far on this trip when it comes to views. I know I bitched about it enough. Here, this little clip is for my daughter Jayme. She wants to come join me on the trail. Good luck if you can find the trail. I'll try to do this without falling in, doing it one-handed. I'm surprised that actually worked. Miracles of miracles. I don't know if you can see how wet that is. See, the water's running through it. Anyway, one challenge gone. Not that it matters. Everything's soaking wet. Feels like my boots weigh 1.5 pounds each. So a 1/2 pound dry. Anyway, Jayme, give you something to look forward to. Bye. Well, here's today's power line view. I'm not going to complain because this is the first only semi-moist soil ground that I've seen in the last, let me see, in the last hour or so. It's been like walking down a muddy stream. I hope the whole 150 miles of Vermont, it's not like that. Oops, it is. There we go. We're back to the water. I can't just tell you how bad it is. I don't know if showing you really does the trick either. I don't know if you can get a real feel for it. Anyway, enough about the mud. Well, I didn't even know it was raining. According to the water drops there on this pond, it's got a light rain going on. I've been so preoccupied with this stuff. I haven't felt any water coming down from the trees. Maybe it just started. Well, I lost the trail some way. I haven't seen very many blazes, hardly any at all, because I had my head down so much. Trying to watch where every footfall it lands. No, there's no water. I'm sorry, there's no raindrops here. So, well, there it goes. It's following me. Time to get over here in the woods, out of the rain and into the mud. Well, hopefully you can hear the footfalls. So I don't think you appreciate it otherwise. Oh boy, chance to get my feet wet. Actually, chance to get my feet washed off. Yeah, I'm gonna put this away. All right, looks like we had some decent trail here. So I'll bring this up to date. It's 10 to 1. I stopped for 10 minutes at 12:20 and had 10-minute lunch because I'm behind schedule. I was tooling along and I noticed that I hadn't seen a blaze in like an hour and a half because I'd been looking down so much, and it turned out it was okay because I've been following 100 muddy footprints in the trail slash stream, so it was no big deal until about 15 or 20 minutes later. I'm looking around thinking, boy, this is pretty pleasant here. This is nice and wide. It's still wet, but it's not that bad. And there's an occasional footprint, but no blazes. And no blazes, and still no blazes. So I finally pull out gut hooks, my navigation aid app. Turns out I'm parallel to the trail, but I'm definitely off the trail. So I had a choice. Backtrack, I don't know how far, and find the trail, or since the app has my position as a little icon, I could turn to my right and the icon pointed at the trail. Well, I've done it before with mixed results. I took off bushwhacking to the trail, and I got there, but it was a little uphill, and here you can see this stuff. Stuff I was in a little taller than this. Now it's a lot taller. Some of it was waist high, occasionally shoulder high. So anyway, it was required a lot more exertion. I don't know if it took me 10 or 15 minutes to get to the trail. So I might have been a quarter mile off, I don't know. Well, without doubt, this is a beaver pond. I believe they're called lodges. Beaver's Lodge. It's right there. Pretty interesting, I think. Let's see if I can get closer here without slipping off another boardwalk. He's got himself a nice little kingdom here, or she does, or they do. This is pretty scenic. I just hope I don't have to cross it without the aid of a bridge. Nice 50 yards of trail without mud. Sorry for the bumpiness, but a lot of tree roots. My arms were a bit longer, I could hold it out there where it wouldn't bounce around so much. Well, the 50 yards without mud is over. Looks like there a lot of people like to get water. I don't know. It's not the trail though. I could take a couple miles of this. Here's one of those little white darlings. I don't want to stray too far without seeing. Well, I'm less than an hour from the pickup point. I'm not sure, but I think that's probably Bennington, Vermont. It's nice to have one good view every day. This is the first one with clear weather. There may be a better spot up here a little further. I don't know. I just passed two little ladies about 20 minutes ago. While exchanging pleasantries with them, I looked at their shoes. They had like maybe a half an inch of mud around the soles and nothing on the uppers. So I figured there must not be any mud the rest of the way. They must have got on the trail 3 miles down the road where I'm getting off. And for the most part, I've been right, but there has been some mud. So I don't know how they've done it, and how they're going to manage to keep their shoes that clean the rest of the way. Their big message for me was safety first, which I thought was thoughtful. And apparently I didn't pay attention, because about 10 minutes later, I was stepping with my right foot on the right side of the trail, which is kind of rutted out. I was trying to avoid the deep mud, and sure enough, my foot slips, and I do luckily a slow roll onto my back into a bed of ferns. Not quite like this, but sufficient enough to make it a soft landing and not a particularly dirty one. So she must have seen that I was not capable of taking care of myself. Well, I've got 1.8 miles to go, all downhill. According to Gut Hook, some of it's dramatically downhill, which means, once again, end up the day with sore knees. Perhaps I'll be able to make up some time, and my wife won't have to wait too long on me, because I am running late. This trail demands your attention and makes you slow down between the mud and the rocks and the tree roots. All right, I'm not helping my case any here by talking to you. Sorry about the bumps. There's one tree that's seen better days. You gotta wonder what's holding it up. Well, this is the last of the I think I'd want to call it a rainforest since it retains so much moisture. But I'm sure that's not the proper term. In any case, this is reportedly a really steep downhill to the road in the parking lot. So I imagine it's going to be like a slip and slide. A slip and slide. I tried to wash my shoes off in the stream back there. I don't think it did a good job. I'm not sure what the point was either, except maybe get the extra weight off all the mud. I've got a liter of water left I brought but didn't need. So I think I'll hose them down when I get to the Jeep. It really doesn't matter if they dry out by tomorrow or not, because they're not going to stay dry, I bet, for even the first mile. So I forgot exactly. We started at mile 1602.7, I believe, or 0.2, and going to 1611.7, something like that, or maybe. Anyway, 11 or 12 mile day, but after all, it's the holidays. I need some time off too. Bye.